Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Because today is 28th of the month of August, year 2023. Hare Krishna. Can anyone hear me at all?
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Okay, good. The person, our speaker is not yet here.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you suggest we do? You want to play some bhajan while?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Prabhuji.
महाजी को लक्ष्मणा कन्हैया को बलराम जय नित्यानंद राम जय आदि गुरु बलराम बलराम जी धानी बल को नित्यानंद कृपा को बलराम जी धानी बल को नित्यानंद कृपा को महापापी तारना सहे चोट गहिरो शिरा को गौर हरि को महिमा बढ़ाउना सहे चोटा शिरा को मान्छे को तके कुरा बाढी मा हम फल्दै गोही को उद्धार मा मस्त निताई गुनासो हरिदास को मान्छे को तके कुरा बाढी मा हम फल्दै गोही को जी को लक्ष्मणा कन्हैया को बलराम राम जी को लक्ष्मणा कन्हैया को बलराम जय नित्यानंद राम जय आदि गुरु बलराम जय नित्यानंद राम जय आदि गुरु बलराम
Nityananda Bonso means one who takes the risk of preaching work. He can claim Nityananda Bonso. Not that easy going.
भाइ बनी 14 वर्ष न खाइ न सुती सेवामा दाजु बनी प्रभुलाई सघाउन हर पल समीपमा गौराज्ञा शिरोधार्य गर्दै योग्यता कसैको हेर्दैनन् बलराम जी को गुरु तत्व हरि नाम पढ्दै हिँड्दछन् राम जी को लक्ष्मण कन्हैया को बलराम राम जी को लक्ष्मण कन्हैया को बलराम जय नित्यानंद राम जय आदि गुरु बलराम
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept the humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev, and all glories to Assembled Vaishnava devotees. We thank you all for being here. Our speaker is not here yet, so we're going to still put the verse on the screen and we'll start speaking. Thank you for being here, like we said. So, Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Narotchava Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutirate Nashtaprayashu Abhadrashu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Bhakti Bhavati Nashtaki. So reading from SRIMAD Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 5, text number 22. Kalat guna vyatikara Parinamaha swabhavataha Karmano janma mahataha Purushadishtitat abhut Kalat guna vyatikaraha Parinamaha swabhavataha Karmano janma mahatataha Purushadishtitat abhut Kalat guna vyatikaraha Parinamaha swabhavataha Karmano janma mahataha Purushadishtitat abhut. Word for word translations. Kalat, from eternal time. Guna vyatikaraha, transformation of the modes by reaction. Parinamaha, transformation. Swabhavataha, from the nature. Karamanaha, of activities. Janma, creation. Mahataha, of the Mahat Tattva. Purusha Adishtitat, because of the Purusha incarnation of the Lord. Abhut, it took place. Translation and purport by Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Translation. After the incarnation of the first Purusha, that is Krana Vashai Vishnu, the Mahat Tattva, or the principles of material creation, take place, and then time is manifested. And in course of time, the three qualities appear. Nature means the three qualitative appearances. They transform into activities. Purport. By the omnipotency of the Supreme Lord, the whole material creation evolves by the process of transformation and reactions one after another. And by the same omnipotency, they are wound up again, one after another, and conserved in the body of the Supreme. Kala, or time, is the synonym of nature and is the transformed manifestation of the principles of material creation. As such, Kala may be taken as the first cause of all creation, and by transformation of nature, different activities of the material world become visible. These activities may be taken up as the natural instinct of each and every living being, or even of the inert objects. And after the manifestation of activities, there are varieties of products and byproducts of the same nature. Originally, these are all due to the Supreme Lord. The Vedanta Sutras and the Bhagavatam thus begin with the absolute truth as the beginning of all creation. Janmadi Asya Yataha. Om Ajana Timbrandasya, Jana Jana Shalakaya Chakshu Amilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manabhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale, Swayam Rupakatamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale, Shri Mati Bhakti Tirtha Swamin Itinamine. Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Astritatmane. Shri Gaura Karana Shakti Bhakti T 39 Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Itinamne. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shringavadi Paschatya Dishatarine. Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pritayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gura Tvije Namaha Nama Brahmanya Devyago Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadetaya Krishna Govindaya Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Guru Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kalat Guna Vyati Karaha, Parinamaha Swabhavataha, Karmanu Janma Mahataha, Purusha Dishtitat Abut. After the incarnation of the first Purusha, Karana Narvashaya Vishnu, or Karana Dakashaya Vishnu, the Mahat Tattva, or the principles of material creation, take place. And then time is manifested. And in course of time, the three qualities appear. Nature means the three qualitative appearances. They transform into activities. Hare Krishna. So we thank you for being here. Today's subject matter is that of creation. How this material world was created. It's almost impossible to find detailed information about how this material cosmic manifestation came into existence from any source other than the Vedic literatures. The Vedic literatures give very detailed, elaborate, and very much concise process of how creation came about and gets maintained and then gets annihilated and gets recreated. So we understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Lots of scientists do not believe in the existence of a supreme person to be understood as the Godhead. Those who even believe that God exists see him as an energy, a force. We read sometime last week from Srila Prabhupada's purport, where Srila Prabhupada was saying that it is a very wrong conception people have, thinking that the supreme absolute being is non-person, and at some point this non-person assumes a personal form. It's wrong. God is always a person, but he also has his unmanifested presence, like in the form of the sun being up in the sky, but it exerts its presence in our world here. And the way the sun exerts its presence in our world is that of its heat and its effulgence, light. So God has a personal form, and then he exerts his energies in the form of force in nature. And when this force of nature takes place, we should understand that the force we are experiencing is coming from a person, and that person is none other than Krishna. Now, if someone accepts that God is a person, but does not accept Krishna as the Godhead, then we throw a challenge to you. If Krishna is not the Godhead, who then is the Godhead? And if you say nobody can see that God, nobody knows that God, then how did you come about with the conclusion that God is a person? If one believes that God is a person, then you should likewise be able to tell who that person is. Now, you may not know who that person is, but if you know the attributes of the person, and somebody shows you that Godhead, and you compare the attributes of the Godhead that you've understood about the Godhead, and you see the person called Krishna, and you see those attributes of Godhead in him, what makes you say that he's not a Godhead? And our challenge is an open challenge Hare Krishna throws to the world. If anyone thinks that the Godhead, Krishna, is not the supreme personality of Godhead, then show us who God is. So we do not believe that Krishna is God. We know that Krishna is God. So from the eyes of the scriptures, we understand that in the beginning, there was nobody other than Krishna. When the scriptures say beginning, it is unfathomable for any living entity to actually comprehend when that beginning actually began. Because that beginning to us as living entities does not exist, because Krishna is always be in existence. God is God. God does not become God. God is always God. And that is why there are those who are thinking that by performance of certain yoga, by performance of certain rituals, you can become God. Then why haven't we had so many gods? And if you think you are God, but you are covered now, that tells that you are not God. If you're God, what covered you? That means whatever covered you is more powerful than you. And one of the attributes of God is that he is the most powerful person. And so if you are the most powerful person, and then you get covered by somebody or something, then that somebody or something is much superior to you. So you are not God. And the truth is that you are not God. And you can never become God. I am not God. I can never become God. But there is this person called Krishna. He is God. The scriptures and the wise people have told us how God can be recognized and identified. God is that being who is the most intelligent, most knowledgeable person. Nobody can outsmart God. And like we were saying in the last class, Friday, God performs activities that can never be replicated by anybody. God lifted a whole hill, which is almost a mountain, and rested it on his pinky, left finger. We challenge everybody, don't put any, just raise your hands. Do not put it, do not carry anything in your hands. Just raise your hands above your head and let it stand for 1 hour. You cannot. You cannot raise your hand up in the sky like this for 1 hour and not feel the edge of bending down your arms. So what makes you think you are God? Well, from the eyes of the scriptures, we understand that in the beginning, God was alone by himself. And then he expanded from his body, he expanded. And the immediate expansion that came out of his transcendental body is called Balaram. That is where things started expanding. That is where things started manifesting. And so from Lord Balaram, he expanded into 4 different forms called Aniruddha, Shankashan, Pradyumna, and Vasudeva. And these 4 expansions or manifestations of Lord Balaram, again, from Shankashan, expanded a duplicate or a same Chaturvyuha, Shankashan, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Vasudeva, again. And then from the second expansion of Lord Balaram as the Chaturvyuha, from Shankashan, came Vishnu. So Vishnu is called Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is also called Karana Dakashayi Vishnu. And so from this Karana Dakashayi Vishnu, he created an expanse of cosmos, which half of it is filled with water and half of it is filled with, like we say, land, which is Karana Dakashayi Vishnu. And from his Karana Dakashayi Vishnu, from his form, from his skin pores, just like you and me, we all have skin pores. And that is why when we sweat, you see sweat on our skin because we have skin pores. From his skin pores come unlimited universes. When these unlimited universes come out of the bodily pores of Mahavishnu, then this same Mahavishnu, which is Karana Dakashayi Vishnu, expands again into each and every single universe coming out of his skin pores. And again, he repeats the same method in each and every universe. His expansion, called Garbo Dakashayi Vishnu, fills the universe with half. Half of the universe is filled with water, I should say. Half of the universe is filled with water, and he lays on that water. And the same Krishna, Balaram, expands to a Vishnu form. There are different types of Vishnus, but principally, there are 24 principal Vishnus. 12 are broadly manifested in our universe. And that is what is named after the months of the year. So each month in the Vedic calendar is named after one of the 12 principal Vishnu forms. So when Garbo Dakashayi Vishnu lays in this ocean called Garba, lays in there, and from his lotus navel springs out a lotus flower. And this lotus stems all the way from this universe and pierces all the way to the topmost. And on top of that, a child is born. And that child is called Brahma. And so when the Lord Brahma appeared, he did not know what to do. Now, it is understood that the bodily pores, the skin pores of Mad Vishnu or Karanadakashayi Vishnu, from which the universes appear, when the same Karanadakashayi Vishnu now enters into each of the universes coming out of his pores and it lays in there as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. When Garbhodakashayi Vishnu springs up this lotus flower from its navel and goes all the way up to the topmost planet within the universe, that is where Lord Brahma appears, is born. And so when Lord Brahma creates all the different beings, all the different objects into each and every planet within the universe, because Lord Brahma now becomes the CEO of this universe and universal creation of the planets and whatever is found in each and every planet. It is also understood that in each and every planet, the climate is different and the conditions are different. This climate, these conditions are all different, but they all stem from the 5 gross material elements: earth, water, air, fire, ether. These 5 elements is what makes up each and every planet, each and every universe. So Lord Brahma, when Lord Brahma manifests all the 11 entities, then within each and every 11 entity, the Supreme Lord, in the form of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, now enters into each and every living creature and stays in there as Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. And this Kshirodakashayi Vishnu is now sharing the same body with all the different 11 entities. Now you are 11 entity, I am 11 entity. Where are we from? We are all parts and parcels of Krishna. Just like if you have a very huge fire put in an oven, if you hit the firewood, you will see lots of sparks coming out of the fire. Each and every single spark coming from the fire has the same quality as the huge fire in the oven. But that little spark of fire is very minute. It might burn, but it might not be able to burn a whole nation or a whole forest. But that huge fire represents Krishna. Therefore, we are all parts and parcels of Krishna. That is what Krishna says. Mama Ivam so jiva loke, jiva buddha sanatanaha. We are all originally parts and parcels of Krishna. And therefore, we have the qualities, we have the attributes of Krishna. Except that God is unlimited and we are limited. And so the text, as we're discussing today, talks about this Karanadakashayi Vishnu and how from Karanadakashayi Vishnu, all these material manifestations came about. Now, all these material manifestations have come about, and particularly from the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, when he manifests Lord Brahma, then this same Garbhodakashayi Vishnu also manifests time, which is color. So we should understand that time is only found in the material cosmos. In the spiritual world, there is nothing like time. In the spiritual world, there is no time, because time means past, present, future. In the spiritual world, there is no past, present, future. Isn't that wonderful? Can we as human beings just sit here and just contemplate, how do I live where there is no past, present, and future? So how do I speak? Because when we speak based on past, present, future. Now I'm speaking, so I say I'm speaking. Because I spoke yesterday, I said I spoke like this yesterday. And if I want to speak something tomorrow, I said I'm going to speak about this tomorrow. So we have speaking. So how do the living beings in the spiritual world speak if there is no time, if there is no past, present, future? That I do not know. If we are fortunate to go back to the kingdom of God, to the spiritual world, we will live it there, we experience it. But the fact remains that time is only limited to this material creation. And once time manifests, time also causes three different energies, which is the most of material nature, which is goodness, passion, ignorance. And by the interaction of these energies of modes, goodness, passion, ignorance, creation comes about, activity comes about. So when we perform activity, whatever activity we perform in is based on these three modes. Every activity performed in this material world is organized and governed and engineered by these energies of goodness, passion, ignorance. And therefore, if one wants to live up to the spiritual level of our original being, not being part of this material creation, then we need to rise above all these three modes of material nature. We should not be influenced by the mode of ignorance. We should not be influenced by the mode of passion. We should not be influenced by the mode of goodness. Rather, we should establish ourselves in the mode of pure goodness, which is called transcendental quality, which is beyond this material cosmos. But because we are here, just as if you are on the first floor and you have to get to the 12th floor, which is the last floor of the story building, you cannot just jump from the first floor to get to the 12th floor. You have to go gradually from the first to second, third, fourth, till you get to the 12th, which is in this scenario or in this example, the last level of the story building. Therefore, these modes are the modes of tama, ignorance, is the basest mode. And if you come to the level, you come to the passion. And then from passion, you go up, you go to the goodness. So at all costs, we have to move from the modes of ignorance and passion to get to the mode of goodness. When we're able to situate ourselves on the level of goodness, then we can perform something. We can perform an activity that can help propel us to the transcendental mode, which is the pure goodness. Therefore, in Krishna consciousness, everything is designed in such a way that the aspirant or the practitioner will find himself or herself on the level of goodness. And so there are 4 regulative principles assigned to devotees. No meat, fish, egg, no meat, no fish, no egg eating. No gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. When one observes these 4 principles, one automatically pushes himself to the level of goodness. And from there, one can perform activities that can raise him out of this material cosmos to the spiritual platform. Now, when we are in this world and we get even transported to the spiritual world with pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva, we may still be here within this material world, which is governed by the modes of nature, ignorance, passion, goodness, but we will be in touch with the spiritual world. We are detached from the spiritual world simply because we are no more in contact with Krishna. For example, we've gathered here now at this material moment. We are in this material world, but we are not of the material world. Why? Because we are in touch with Krishna. How are we in touch with Krishna? We are in touch with Krishna via his manifestation as SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. We can also be in touch with Krishna in this material world instantly via Harinam Sankirtan, or via cooking for the Lord and meditating on the Lord, or doing daily worship. When one takes care of the Archa Vigraha of the Lord in the temple, that person is in touch with the Lord, and thereby at that material moment, in that particular instance, that particular individual, even though he is in this material world, but he is in touch with Krishna, and therefore he is in the spiritual world. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada boldly said that all his temples are embassies of the spiritual world. So anytime we visit, you may be in Ivory Coast, you may be in Nigeria, but wherever you are, America as a country is also there. If you go to the American embassy in your country, that small place, it's not Nigeria, it's not Ghana, it's not that country. It is the country of that particular embassy. Whatever they do, all their activities, everything they do is just what Americans do. Likewise, if I am in the US and I go to the Ghana embassy in Washington, D.C., that embassy there, even though it's located in the heart of Washington, D.C. of the United States of America, but that particular little space is Ghana. And so Srila Prabhupada's temples are all embassies of the spiritual world. So our activities performed in the temple is part of the spiritual world. Now, by the divine inspiration of Srila Prabhupada, each and every individual can transform his home also to be an extension of that embassy. If one is able to make his home as good as the temple, you don't talk nonsense, you don't do nonsense, you do everything that is done in the temple in your home becomes the spiritual world. So we can just imagine how kind, how gracious God is, that wherever we go as spiritual sparks of him, he follows us. When we are here as living entities struggling with our material senses because we want to enjoy without him, without God, and therefore we're suffering here, he still stays with us. He is with us. Everybody knows that there is a Lord in the heart. We say Param Atma, the super soul. Atma is soul, and Param means super, great. So the great soul or the super soul or the divine supreme spirit always stays with us, speaks to us, guides us. But because he speaks to us, guides us, and we do not listen because we are so much covered, this same Supreme Lord within the heart of each and every living entity again manifests externally as the spiritual master to speak our language, to live our lifestyle, and guide us. And so luckily for us, we have the spiritual master who is guiding us, who is teaching us how to perform devotional service again, so that we can go back to the Supreme Lord. And that begins with devotional service. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada tailored especially what we need to know, what we need to do to go back home, back to God in the form of devotional service, which is called sadhana, sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti. That means activities that is performed 24/7 and is systematic, gradual performance of this sadhana bhakti will enliven and enlighten us and remove this pattern of ignorance, and we'll come back to our original self to realize that our original purpose, our original duty is to serve God. And that also begins with association with the devotees. Because when we associate with the devotees, then by the mercy of Krishna, the nature of devotional service will help one to give up all undesirable association and gradually attain elevation to the platform of love of God. And as devotees, you realize that from time to time, you start having so much disinterest in so many things that used to interest us some time ago. There were many things that we used to do that were so much interesting to us. They are no more interesting to us. Maybe it was going to the bar to drink, going to the bar to dance. They are no more of any interest to devotees anymore. No? So basic things that kind of give people so-called pleasure, joy, happiness in this material world. And we were living it, we were practicing it. But by the association of devotees and Krishna consciousness, Bhakti Yoga, slowly and gradually, the taste and the interest of such things slowly and gradually fade out. And then, for example, today, there are some of us who have gathered here. This particular point in time, we could all be doing something else. But we've gathered here. Why? Because we've developed the taste of hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. We've developed the taste of seeing the devotees. We've developed the taste of talking to devotees and sharing a love with devotees. Rather than going out there and have some jokes and cracks with friends, just talking about mundane subject matters, that interest slowly is dissipating. And therefore, we are no more interested in, like Mother Rukmini was saying, call it like 7-Eleven, people get together and just talk anything, anyhow. Devotees are no more interested in such topics. So, Grandma Kata, just getting around and talking something that has no relationship with Krishna. Devotees are not interested in such topics. So, by gradual following the sadhana bhakti process given to us by Jagat Guru Param Guru Srila Prabhupada, which begins with hearing and associating with the devotees, our possibility of going back home, back to Godhead in this particular lifetime is very, very much assured. So we can see from the spiritual platform all the way to the material manifestation. This material manifestation is also part and parcel of Krishna. But it is designed for those who want to enjoy life without Krishna as their controller and their director. Those who want Krishna to control their lives, those who want Krishna to direct their lives, they remain in the spiritual world. Those who want to live as if they are adults, even when they are not adults, then we find ourselves in. And then when we recognize that we thought we could live happily in this world, but it is not possible without Krishna, and we ran back to Krishna, that we've refrained from this silly independence idea we had from the very beginning, that we wanted to enjoy without you. It's not working out. So we want to come back. Please help us. Then the Lord, who is more eager for us going back to the spiritual world, more than us wanting to go back to the spiritual world, will do anything and everything to make the necessary arrangement for us to go back home, back to Godhead. And that he has already done by bringing us into Krishna consciousness, linking us up to the spiritual master, exposing us to the process of performing devotional service, and not just exposing us to devotional service, but personally teaching us how to do it. Now, if we fail, we cannot blame anybody but ourselves, because all the ingredients needed to do the cooking has been supplied to us. It only requires us putting the ingredients and the resources together to bring about the cooked food. And when we have a cooked food, we eat it, we have energy, and we become blissful. So thank you for being here, dear devotees. And I would like to end here and see if devotees have questions, comments, or anything devotees would want to add. You're very much welcome. You understand, I'm sure, if you're not just coming in, this is an impromptu delivery that I've tried to make. So forgive me of all shortfalls. Even if I had planned, I was still going to be having shortfalls, and I did not plan. So please, I seek your forgiveness. Hare Krishna. Anyone with something to discuss, to share?
I just want to say thank you for the well job done. It was an impromptu stepping in to fill in the gap. Thank you so much. I don't know whether if you had prepared, maybe you will have spoken, taking us directly to Goloka Vrindavan. The reassurance and assurance of going back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime is enough take home for me. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, big brother.
Hare Krishna.
Very good. All right, says devotees. Okay, they do not have questions.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Srisa.
Hare Krishna.
Dhanavad pranams.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Gurudev, all glory to Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to you. All glories to your wonderful, wonderful presentation. Yeah, in the course of your presentation, you made mention of 24 months that are numbered for each Vishnu.
Or
Can
12
you elaborate? 12 months elaborate for each Vishnu. Can you elaborate on that? Which month is for which Vishnu? Can you?
All right, let me see if I can find this book, because I don't remember them all offhand, but there is this book. It's actually a commentary of Srila Bhaktivinoda about, it's called Shri Krishna Vaibhav Vilas. So I actually said 24 principal forms of Lord Vishnu.
Yeah.
And in our material creation here, like on this Earth planet, we have 12 principles of the Vishnu forms, and those 12 are those named after the months. And it's the same 12 names that we use when we put on a tilak on our bodies. So here I'm seeing we have Vasudeva, we have Shankarshan, we have Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Keshava, Narayan, Madhava, Govinda, Vishnu, Madhusudan, Trivikram, and I think Vamana. Let me see here. Okay, all the 24, we have Vasudeva, Shankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Keshava, Narayan, Madhava, Govinda, Vishnu, Madhusudan, Trivikram, Vamana, Sridhara, Hrishikesh, Padmanabha, Damodara, Purushottama, Achyuta, Nishrama, Janardana, Hari, Krishna, Adhokshaja, Upendra, which makes it 24. And out of these 24, we have 12 of them, which, like I said, we use when we do apply tilak. Our umbilical, the chest chakra, the throat, the forehead, and then 2 on each upper arms, 1 on our lower back, 1 on our upper back, which makes it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is the head crown. So I do not remember all the different names, but I know we have Keshava, we have Madhava, we have Govinda, we have Trivikrama, we have Vamana. Those are the names, but I cannot give you, as we speak now, chronologically from January to December, the names for the different various months. If any devotee here remembers the names in chronological order, one may help us with that. I do not have enough time to look it up here, but that is what I know about the names so far. Hare Krishna, Govinda Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Susa. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. And in fact, these different forms of Vishnus, they're all the same. They are only different from the way they hold different paraphernalia in the forearms. So in the Paravyum, where we have different planets scattered in that sky, and each sky has a Vishnu form, but these Vishnu forms, the principal 24, they all hold the same 4 items in the forearms, but based on the way they hold and which arm holds which object, they are named differently. So it's the same Vishnu. Present, we have the same Vishnu appeared as Sesha to make himself available as a bed for the Supreme Lord to lay on it. All right, so
Hare
Krishna, Kavi, hello.
Yes, sir. That's our problem. Sorry,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
I was in my own word. Then I came. Before I came to this word, the lecture is already almost finished. Please forgive me.
It's okay.
So I was in Chaitanya Charitamrita. This Vishnu are nicely explained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the different how you can discriminate them. Adoshaja, conch shell here, chakra there, and this. I have to confirm the chapter, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained in Madhya Lila. I think it's in Madhya Lila very nicely how this we can differentiate this Vishnu. Prabhu is very, very scientific.
Yes.
You need to spend 4 years just to study the different Vishnu and which particular one is studying, the way they are holding their different weapons, Padma and chakra and the conch and the club. The different hold it in different way like that. So based on that, they are giving names. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu nicely explained this in details in the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Yeah, I think it's Madhya Lila chapter 20.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Madhya Lila chapter 20. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave very, very detailed description of the Lord and his expansions and the creation to Sanatana Goswami. And like I was saying initially, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has also expanded on these teachings Lord Chaitanya gave to Sanatana Goswami in his book called Amrit Pravaha Bhashya. Amrita Pravaha Bhashya, where Bhaktivinoda Thakur also expands in details how the Lord manifests, and like Kavika Napur was saying, how we can identify the different Vishnus simply by the way these different Vishnus are holding different objects in their divine arms. So depending on how they hold different objects in their arms, they are named a particular name, but the same Vishnu. Just as when Krishna stands in a three-banded form, it's called Tribanga, but it's the same Krishna. When Krishna assumes the form like the rain cloud, it's called Shamsundra. So it's the same Krishna. When he assumes the form like a baby, it's called Balagopa, the same Krishna. So same Vishnu with different names based on the items they hold in their hands. And if anyone has the time and is interested, please refer to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila chapter 20, wherein Lord Chaitanya spoke to Sanatana Goswami about the Supreme Lord and his manifested incarnations. And also, it also talks about the coming about of this material cosmos also. Very beautiful, very, very beautiful, very detailed.
So it's repeated in teaching of Lord Chaitanya.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There is a powerful books on that also. It is very detailed there.
Yeah.
Nice. So that's to show how scientific Krishna consciousness is.
Very, very scientific. Yes.
Not just okay, everything is detailed. Okay, this person, all this is very scientific.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Kavika Napur Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhu, I will have asked you a question, but I came late, so I didn't know what to ask.
No, it's okay. Krishna didn't want me to receive tough questions. This is Krishna being kind on me. So, Sri Salika Prabhu, I think we might bring this to a close.
Please, today is Prabhu Varaha birthday.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, look at Debbie. In fact, we have two special birthdays to announce today. One is like Luca Mataji said, is the appearance day of His Grace Shriman Varaha Acharya. He is our divine God brother. He is also a mentor to lots of us, especially lots of us on this platform. And he is also a teacher and a spiritual teacher. We also have His Grace Gopinath Prabhu, whom I understood a short while ago that today also happens to be his birthday. Governor Prabhu has been a very, very senior devotee. He's been so kind to me, especially when I first joined devotional service. He's one of those devotees who actually trained me how to slap Lord Balaram. You know? It's very interesting how Lord Balaram allows himself to be slapped in the shape of Mridanga. Gopinath Prabhu helped me so much as to how to play Mridanga so beautifully. And one thing I couldn't do was playing Mridanga with my left hand. He plays Mridanga with the left hand, which is the most ideal. But I play Mridanga with my right hand. So these two devotees happen to appear the same day today. And all we can do is to pray to their lordships and the parampara to help us all to have their associations, because the associations are priceless. And on that note, we're going to humbly request all the devotees to kindly unmute, and we all chant full 3 rounds of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for the pleasure of the appearances of these two great devotees, and also ask for their lordship's blessings upon them, and again ask for the blessings of all the Vaishnava devotees to bless them. And that's why we're going to be chanting 3 rounds of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So we're going to humbly request all the devotees to kindly unmute, and we all do this together, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Happy birthday, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
We did not have Gopinath Prabhu here, but
Happy birthday.
Arriba.
Prabhu, if you may have a word of wisdom for us.
Prabhu Shiva.
Arriba. Hare
Please
Krishna.
share with us a word of wisdom.
What did you say, Prabhu? We couldn't hear.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Hari Bol. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to devotees. Hari Bol. In fact, you know, yes, in the material world, people celebrate birthday and all that stuff, you know. But as soon as you start becoming more spiritual, it doesn't really mean much to you any longer, you know.
you start thinking, maybe this is actually mundane, maybe it is not really something that is worth it. But then Krishna consciousness revive again this this festival of joy to celebrate, the reason for coming to this world. Now there's a reason to celebrate, maybe in the past, when we really don't know why we're here, when everything is confused, and then you just get, fed up with the whole system. But then with Krishna consciousness, everything is revived. Now there's meaning to everything. There's meaning to why we're here. There's meaning to why we're celebrating. And then it brings another life. It gives another joy. Just knowing that we are living for a purpose. Our life has a purpose. We have a mission. And we are not just drifting along, with time, So I'm very grateful to be able to share this occasion with you all and hearing the wonderful vibration of the holy name. It gives life, it reinvigorates and gives joy. So thank you very much for your loving expression and your blessings. And I pray that we will stay together for as much as possible time to be able to continue spreading the glory of Krishna in this material world. Thank you very much. Haribo, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Srimad Acharya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yes, these appearance days are very worth living because worth celebrating, I should say, in the sense that we know it takes a very, very special fortune for the living entity to be born as a human being. And even much more than that is to be born into a family of devotees. And even higher than that is to take up devotional service. And even higher than that is to take up devotional service and then share it with others. And like I was saying initially, I am sitting here today because of so much help I've received from you in particular, Srimad Acharya. And like I said, Gopinath Prabhu is also helped me in so many ways. So many devotees have helped so many devotees in so many ways. And oftentimes we are not very careful and very attentive to sufficiently express our appreciation to devotees. Whoever I am today, whatever I know today is all as a result of others. Even my name, I'm called Sahadev. I did not give it to myself. Somebody gave me that name. What I know, I call this a microphone. Who told me this is microphone? Somebody told me. So if we look critically, everything, so-called everything we think is ours, is all as a result of others. And that is why it's important to recognize and appreciate others and try to live in our lives in such a way that we can do something to please others. That is just the purpose of human life, to serve others. So we are very grateful to have the association. And in fact, the same, my wife, Luca, she reminded us of these appearances. She always tells me, behind closed doors, she tells me this, that it's so inspiring always seeing Shriman Varaha on this Sangha, because we know what it means to have somebody like that association all the time. So I've already spoken so long, I do not want to continue talking, but devotees, today is the appearances of these great souls, and they are worth celebrated. And come tomorrow, if another devotee's appearance day falls, we should equally celebrate them also, because devotees are what celebrated. They are very special. Thank you all for being here, and thank you.
Someone's hand is up. Someone's hand is
Yeah. I'm going to call on him. So we thank you all for burning out and bringing out your love from your hearts on this forum today. We thank you all. So Larry Prabhu, please. Oladimeji, please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much for being here.
My obeisances to all assembled devotees on this platform. I just want to buttress on SRIMAD appearance day today. I really want to thank him as well, because anytime, like you said, anytime we see him contributing tremendously on every classes that we have every day. And this is not the first time I'm making this request, and I want to make the request again. Again and again, I will keep making the request. We would love to have you to take at least, I know you are a very busy person, but we want you to take at least maybe once in a year, take this class once in a year. We want to benefit from your wisdom, from your knowledge. And I'm using this opportunity to thank you for all your contribution so far since I've joined this platform. You have really, really touched my life. Based on your comment, at times we'll be struggling behind to understand some things, and the way you answer questions at times, very, very awesome. Awesome. Congratulations, Prabhu, and I wish you all the best in life. I pray to Almighty Krishna to give you more long life to gain more association of yours. Hare Krishna.
Jai! Hare
Krishna.
It's amazing. Oladimeji, thank you so much for such nice and kind but sincere, truthful words. Yes. All we can do is to pray to their lordships for this association.
Sir Dave, you have not completed.
You got muted, Salika Prabhu.
I said for online cake.
You're breaking up though.
Okay. Anyway, I was just making a happy joke.
Okay, we want to hear the happy joke.
Even we are not qualified, that's why it's disconnecting it.
But I want to join to wish Ms. Grace Vara Acharya Prabhu happy birthday. And I will pray that Guru and Krishna will continue to empower him in the wonderful service he is doing. Yeah. And all of the devotees who are also celebrating today, we pray that the potency of the Guru and Krishna will be with them. Vara Prabhu is such a devotee in the whole of West Africa. And if we have to start the glorification, if we want to make it brief, we've had several encounters, and what I can say is that is an example of a dedication to service of Guru and Krishna. One wants to see, or when some of you must have read group this morning, and those not just some quotes, they were reality of his life. For opportunity, all those words he was using are reflection of. So we pray that Guru Krishna will manifest himself again and again in his life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Salika Prabhu. Yes. Hare Krishna. So on this note, we're going to humbly request all the devotees to kindly unmute, and we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our appreciation to each and everyone's presence here, and then we call it a day. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare.
Rubhyascha, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Jai, all glories to his
Hariba.
praise, Srimad Varahacharya Prabhu ki.
Jai.
All
Krishna,
glories to
Prabhu.
Gopinath Prabhu ki.
Hariba.
All glories to
Krishna.
Assembled Vaishnava devotees ki. Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Enjoy your day, Prabhu.
Haribo.
Mother Sunita, Hare Krishna. Thank you
Hare
very much.
Krishna.
Mother
We
Loka,
all
all
love
of
you.
you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
So much.
We wish you all the
We
best.
love you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are
Mother
already
Mitra.
Krishna continue to bless you for this.
you are
Mother
already
Mitra.
blessed.
Vinda, thank you.
Yeah, what you are doing means you are already blessed.
Thank you very
So
much.
today is your day. Enjoy it.
Hariba.
Drink some mango juice.
Yes, coming.
Yeah, if the voting can wait for 30 minutes, I want to send some e-pizza.
Oh, but, Kami, you're still online.